Hello, everyone. My name is Monikeva. I am from the site Tell and Tale, and the new site from the Royal Kingdom. And I'm coming to you today because I want to make a statement, a very important one. And as we've been moving along to this One World Order a group of people that are implementing their strategy, it is very important to understand where they're leading and what's coming up with their intention. And after studying very carefully every little step that they've been doing for the past 2 years, I came up with that very interesting portrait of their 2050 final strategy, meaning what they're thinking the world will be looking like. I've been putting it up as another post. But what I'm going to show you is that there is a flag that they've been already putting on the internet. So with the 6 color that is repeating the Olympic nation colors. And it is a horizontal flag, and then this will be the flag that will represent the world. Their intention is to remove the way it is done right now, which is more latitude, timeline, understanding of the power per nation, and they want to transform it into a longitudinal power that is englobing all the nation that are in that longitudinal, sorry, it's a difficult one in English. And so like for the second, because the first one I think is red, the second one is orange, we would be, if I assessed it properly, in the orange band. And the orange band includes Canada, Alaska, which is USA, and it goes to anything European Union and Russia. So they're right now working at globalizing that length and preparing the other nation. And mainly the strategy does not go like they wish it would go. One important one is that I'm the new owner of the Commonwealth country, the reason why they wanted to kill me. So the reason why they did that, it's because if you possess many countries this way, then it's complicated because they have to negotiate with you many times, and then you're removed progressively to that power, or you take the whole power of everything. It all depends on how you negotiate it, but I've been removed from the table. Right from the beginning, they decided to remove me from that table because mainly, and you'll look at the article because I've been putting some information. What's important is it's related to that LGBTQ flag, and it's part of the main strategy. So they want to remove women of the planet, and they don't want to keep elderly too, because those are very costly for them. Women, because of pregnancy, because of time off, their job, they have to allow that time. So there's a lot of burden for the people in businesses to that is creating disruption in their pattern of performance with employees. So they have to conciliate with a gender that is creating babies. So they decided to just take it out. So their intention is to remove women from the planet. And that LGBTQ flag is stating that everything sexuality will be men. So men will be within each other doing their sexuality, and this is how they're going to be pushed into that mutual need of doing those coit together. And this is what's going to be sexuality in the future. And then it was part of their vaccine part of the change of mRNA that was displacing some part of the DNA to transform. And we've seen, remember, after that, I think a lot of young boy becoming very effeminate. So it's a sort of very, very weird, a satanic way of seeing the planet. So this is one important thing with that LGBTQ flag. It is relating to removing all the colors of the planet into a one way, which is man's sexuality. That's it. That's going to be it. And they want to remove also everything that is baby creation, and everything's going to be a gift for obedience. So if you obey to the world, and then you've been a good parent, you can pair together, and then you're going to be able to buy a baby. So everything's going to be bought. So if we allow them to go and continue on that plan, this is what is actually happening already, because they've done the stage of LGBTQ flag. They've introduced it in school. They're educating boys into it already. They're allowing pedophilia, and that's why we've seen that Epstein file thing that is sort of introducing that culture into men. To be with another man, instead of having those men rejecting homosexuality as something that is terrible, going against the Bible and everything about it. So this is quite interesting when we think about it, because it gives a sense to everything that is very satanic. If you refer to the Bible, you can find literally word by word what is happening with that new strategy. So it is very much a satanic strategy to remove God as the leader of the world, and wishing that they can go as far of destroying everything that God has created, women, kids, elderly, adults, and make it a man thing, so it's going to be a man's world, and we've talked about it many times, but it is very much actually, they disguise men and women, they put them at the power, they call them a leader, a women leader, but they're just a man disguised as a woman. So it's just trafficking the laws that are in place and falsifying the understanding of what is going on around the world. So if you look at that little post that I did, and I've put some information, you relate. So you have all those horizontal band of power, which each one's going to have a kingdom power. Actually, probably EU wanted to have UK as the main power, and they were sort of detoured from their wish when the queen didn't give them the inheritance. So it created a chaos, and that's why we are in that stage where they're starting actually trying to work at Commonwealth countries. So you see UK, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, actually, they were the more stringent strategy of pandemic, testing how much people would be obeyed into the new rule that would be put in place. And I've been writing it very often, but this is very important information, because I don't want to promote just my place, because at the end, I'm not the only one deciding. There are 8 billion people on that planet, and all I do is make sure that I transfer the correct information and the good vision about things. They hate me for killing. I just have a huge problem even to stay on a profile, because they block it. They just block it. So nobody is able even to see what I post. So it looks like I'm posting it. They have 3-4 people looking at it. They're probably people from X that are allowed to receive it just to get the information I'm posting, so I don't get any credibility for promoting those important information for the nation to take decision. So right now, we have those 6 lines of power. If you request on internet a vision of the flag of the One World Order, you will see it appearing. And then you'll see what I say, the top color, which is more the Arctic and Greenland. Probably why they had all those discussions about who's going to lead Greenland, and why probably USA wanted to have Greenland, because it would have disrupted the power of the northern countries in Europe that are part of European Union right now. So you see, everything is sort of, it gives a sense to all the discussion that are happening within the countries. There is a huge fight on who's going to lead what to that structure. But it's just because they decided to put that structure, that is a manly strategy to make of this world a resources planet, mainly for exploration of cosmic planet. So they're really going into using the planet eventually for the minerals, and to construct everything that will be brought in those planets. And I'm referring, as you see probably already, to Mars, the exploration of Mars, which is everything about the launch of those rockets and those satellites. And so everything is made for the future of exploring planets and escaping Earth, with only limited strategies of women having baby, and the complexity probably with hospital. And also they're sort of removing everything that is very complex to be able to bring this into Mars. Why they want to go into Mars? Because there's nothing attracting there, but there are a reason probably with what they talk about, the reptilian, and most of them, they are reptilian that are attached to the strategy. So there's a lot of people that will say you don't know a thing about it, and I agree with you. I don't know a lot. And then this is a lot of information for a very short period of time, and I'm trying to catch on everything to try to understand what's happening. First, I didn't knew I was part of very specific family, and that family had been having the royal power, but they were destroyed by those reptilian or those Lucifer, Satan, dark cult on Earth that wanted to destroy. So they've been almost destroyed, and there were only little that were left, but actually they've been killing everyone else of my family. So that's why it sounds strange, and that's why I never knew about it, because everyone left way before I was able even to even discuss that with them. So it's and those royals were really good. Royals linked very close to God, and they were very achieving the benefit of humanity on the planet. I know I've heard Mr. Musk talking about seeing Earth being not a place to live, but actually it's BA's, because he's the one also doing all the strategy to move to Mars. So is he wanting to move back home? We don't really know. But anyway, that's not my business. I'm just laughing, because sometimes when you start to analyze situation, You think you can just make a funny romance of everything. So that this is very critical, though, because all of us need to really understand every time we allow them one day more, they go deeper. So we see right now they're working with Canada and passport and their pension plan. So they're making their life more and more complicated. And then you remember during the pandemic there was that little plan of bringing them all in one location all together, saying that it was for their good, but we knew right from beginning it was the worst idea to do that, because it was sort of enclosing them, making it out of any witness. You lock the doors, you don't allow anyone, and you just let the people die on their own. And you do just like what you do right now. You say anything and whatever it is, but you just don't bring food and water to those people, so they just go degenerate very fast and die. So they got rid a lot of elderly. So that was that first strategy that I say. They don't want women anymore. They don't want elderly anymore, and they don't want to have kids other than for merit in the society. So men together will be able to have a baby if they merit it. So it's going to be very elitic. It's going to be very not something that's going to be able. So will they destroy women? Will they create only men, or will they create hermaphrodite, which I believe that's what they're going to do. So they're going to make a form of humanity that will be like hippocamp, being able, not hippocamp, but there are hermaphrodite. I forgot who they are, but you are able to just generate your own seeds to create a baby, and you are the one holding it too. So I believe very much that's their intention right now, to create hermaphrodite, and the flag LGBTQ is sort of flagging that strategy. They know in between each other that this is where they want to go. So hermaphrodite is you have the two gender in a one person, and I believe that's what they're gonna do. And so this is the world they're fantasizing of, and they want to make a reduction of negotiation. So they give the power to kingdoms. So we can figure out that they're going to use Emirate Arab for the Middle East one, and they're going to do probably China for the one just beneath us. So it's putting USA in a critical strategy, because it's either USA or China that will take that third band, and the other one will be Arabic ones, and Islam, that is very much discrediting women and elderly people, is the philosophy behind all that strategy. So Islam is very much discrediting, making women as animals. So already creating a culture of women are worth nothing. They're animal. We can just hurt them and beat them, and they're just meant for nothing, because that world we're creating for 2050 is a world of destruction for those genders. So it's a strategy, a fight between Satan and God. The more and more I get into it, it is this, and it's amazing how it's difficult to have people really even listening to it. I understand that it's very fearful, but it can only happen if we allow it to happen. Just like you stayed in your house during pandemic because you decided that you stayed in that house, and because you feared to get a penalty. I don't know. We have to ask ourselves, how much of obedience makes sense? When is there a line where we realize that we allow a bunch of people to lead the planet. So it's 600,000, that's what I think. And there are 8 billion people on the planet. So they can very much do it because of that obedience. And think about it. If you have older parents and remember how they were fighting for their rights and laws, and how everything was very well known by those people. They knew the law, they knew everything, but they made sure that people were not educated about the law, their rights, and everything. So they were obedient, you know. So the more you know about your laws, the more you are able to defend yourself. So it would be very nice that any lawyer or retired lawyers make a channel where they educate people about laws, whatever laws that are important, and going with the flow, putting the important one. And one very important one is right now that the king doesn't have any authority, but who will challenge the king? And who's holding the money of that inheritance? So they're using it right now and they don't want to give it back. Because if they do, it means they consent to the power I have. And as they will be showing a formal crowning, then they cannot avoid the discussion anymore, you understand? So this is very important because this power holds a lot of disruption of that plan. But until we never question who's really having that crown and power on earth, because that power is the power that is linked to the Bible. And it's difficult for a society that given up praying. And we understand now why, because if they had kept it, they would have kept a lot of understanding of what they do. But if you have just few minutes a day, there is a good application that is called Bible, and it's a brown logo. And every day they send you a little thing, and you can just drive at work with your radio or whatever you listen to, and listen to it, and and you would be surprised how it is similar to what's happening right now. Be curious. Be curious. There is one especially today that they've been posting that I just said, oh my God, it is guiding your understanding that it's impossible that the Bible had predicted the exact word by word of what is happening right now without being God's power, you know. It's so God is the real leader of everything, and that's his creation. And that's a true fight between satanic strategy order and the culture with Jesus. And I was relating some of the similarity, and I just for fun the other day, I just decided to enter in internet to see the meaning of the word, just the word of the name of the leaders that were in place in the past years. And then when you put them all together, it is describing the mission of that World Economic Forum and that one world order. So like if you get the definition of Mark Carney, it's foreign, and foreign is for amusement place. So So Mark Carney is a mark of amusement, and if you go to Kerr Stramer, Kerr means black, and Stramer meaning broadcasting. So this one is black broadcasting. And Christoph Freeland is, if you reverse the name, it's land without Christ. So again, a part of the strategy. So it's an amusement, a mark of amusement for a dark broadcasting with for a strategy of land with no Christ. So it's, and then you take them all, and then Albanese it relates to the Albany that fights in USA in 1908 to remove communism that was almost installed at that time. And Anthony is related to spiritual. So everything is, so when you write them all together, so I'm finishing it. So it's really putting a mission. So you remember, yes, a company do have mission. So the mission of that dark cult, what it is. So we already see that it's around broadcasting, around amusement. So and that links very much to that the strategy that we are exposing. That it's all a broadcasted movie that is happening, not even real law, not even real people of power, but a government that is external, that is sending people that receives order from an external government. That external government right now is the World Economic Forum that's siege out of the country in European Union. So it links back to who's leading it right now. And the 33rd degree Freemason is one of the largest Freemason dark cult axis, the three axes of the darkness. So one of the biggest one. There are, so Hollywood, there's another one that is with Illuminati, that is a huge one. But there are smaller ones all around the world. The third one, I don't remember by memory like this. But again, something very interesting that you could post. Do for the one that are very good at it. People need to be educated. I believe very much in educating population, and we have the opportunity to use that social media to educate people. So we have to rush because they see us, see how they are always reacting to how we are promoting or distributing their information. Now we see Mark Carney, he wants to put more stringent rule for social media because it's playing against them, because they thought that they could just use it to manipulate, but they underestimated the capacity of humanity to want to expose their strategy. So that's the reason why right now it is happening there. Just because now they're in a critical situation, because every time we expose things, they have to change the filming that was done in advance. So all the speech that are done and that were prepared on pre-formatted backgrounds has been removed recently because I've exposed those. And they were putting everyone with the same decor in the background, so it was not smart. And how I did discover that is I did that for myself, and then I saw it. They've been doing it afterwards, so I've discovered that the X-Media had a marketing company doing those promotion for World Economic Forum that has a contract with X to do their marketing of all that they need to expose to look like a real government doing the conversation. And right now, I trust no one right now. And and even like they've been putting on social media, on the YouTube side, they had sort of angel discussion, and then suddenly you could see that some of the angel education was very much attributed to men, men angels, men power, and you could see a real trend that was making those angels to work for the World Economic Forum, and it became so obvious that it had to be something that was linked with a strategy of that World Economic Forum that wants only men. So they want to create a AI God that will be the spiritual guidance, but link with the Islamic Quran, sorry, I'm looking for my word, Quran and Sharia, but the Sharia will, I'm sorry, that will be totally useless because there won't be any more women. So that's why they separated the two. So until they get the women removed from the society, then after that they will use Quran as the base reference for spirituality in the world, and then this specific Islamic religion has been made for this. It is a sub-creation of the Bible, and a sort of a fight of power between Jesus and Muhammad that decided to make his own power to just tease Jesus that he's able himself to create a power. So it's, there's nothing that is more human than this. So it's the fight between Netflix and all the other Crave and other places that built along the way, and they all do the same thing, but all differently. They're all better, but always the same. So there is only one power on earth. And the more I get into that story, the more I tell you that it is important that we keep in mind that when we fight for humanity, because we're not Earth and industry to send rockets on other planets. And we're not either a place that was made for resources. It's a place that was made for Eden, for humanity. So everyone would share freely this planet. So it's a first conversation about it, and then I invite you to look at that post that I did on my site, which is the Royal Kingdom Sacred Light God MQ. So that's what it is, and you can look at it below. I will put the references, but I'll put it on Tell and Tale as well. And I will load it as well on Rumble and load it as well on X. So I hope you're going to be able to see it in one of those ones. And just comment to tell me that you were able to see it, that it was posted, just so I follow up, because I have no idea how much they block me, because you understand that just posting this is making in people's mind a huge understanding of what's happening around the world that makes much more sense to everything that's going on and why the fights for the country and why the fights for LGBTQ and why the fights for Islamic. So it's gathering all the information in a better understanding of what's going on around the planet. So I hope it's bringing some light into this 16th of February 2026, a probably important day for the dark cult, as it's probably disrupting a lot of their strategy, just exposing this. And I've seen already that they've already tried to block the posting. So it would be nice that you repost it or send it to friends so everyone gets to know what's going on so they can make proper decision, prepare to fight against those leaders. You know, none of them has been formally receiving an agreement to their position, because if the king did it for Commonwealth country, he was not having the title. So anything he's been signing is technically done illegally. You cannot decide for your neighbor and sign for a contract to repair his house if you're not the owner. No, you cannot decide for someone else. So that's what he does right now. And he's been implementing his people to have his strategy. So you have to understand that that's a good reason not to give the inheritance at the rightful heir. Because if it disrupts all your plan, you won't give it. You will make people believe that it's a complete idiot that is talking about having the crown. But Queen Elizabeth was smarter than that. She knew exactly what she was doing when she did that. And as much as they've been giving them a house and her personal inheritance she shared, and I don't believe that even Andrew was treated properly, because probably this house was his and given by his mom. But you know, you do crappy things for the world, you can do crappy things for your own family, to whatever they did. But I don't believe they're better. I don't believe that Prince Charles is better than his brother. What sort of sexuality he has? Is he truly having a wife, or is he dressing his man as a wife? I've questioned many things and all the lies that they're able to construct around this make us think a lot about how much we should believe all of this and decide on our own to reconstruct the world as we want. So I'm coming soon with strategies, and I've been posting another video that I'm trying to load right now, where I explain how you should get prepared, just so we have a plan individually in case something happens. Because in situation where they want to steal country, they bankrupt it, and then they put army in place. So in this case, actually, they've been having an invasion of Islamic, changing the way immigration was done. So they've been cutting off the in-person agreement of becoming a Canadian, and they did it internet. So you came in, you were already accepted, which is terrible, because they've been going against the law. This is totally against the law. And they cannot change. If they change the law to adjust to their need, it means that King Charles, the false king, has took ownership of signature of law that he did fraudulously for himself. So it's a never-ending story, and I let you extend it to whatever, and probably some lawyer may correct me into that understanding. But actually, if you don't have the authority and the formal power, if you sign for government agreement because you are the chief executor, then we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Well, so I try to do as my best to try to understand what's happening, and I hope I'm not confusing you more, but it's a good thing just to take the time to just understand that longitudinal new power they want to bring with kingdom power and that new feudal way of making dictatorship. So we're stepping not even in communist approach. We're getting back to feudal, where the society works for the king. So we're moving backwards crazy to a time where they can have suffer their the citizen, but they don't give a the beautiful side of humanity is this, and the abandonment we made about allowing a lot of sins to be acceptable in the society, and a lot of dysfunction according to personality, the increase of narcissistic personality. And I've been posting again a very good video of someone that did a review of what is a leader, what is someone that has narcissistic profile. And we have to think about it, because those are the people we vote for because they look like they have a big mouth and they're in control. And often it shows a lot of emotional deficiency, a lot of disconnect with their own humanity, their own emotional state. So you cannot have them think about humanity if they cannot even deal for themselves with their own humanity. A lot of men are suffering inside, and transposing their frustration with their relationship in couple into their anger about humanity. And you listen to it. It's very interesting, and it's very guiding to how we look at those leaders that are having dictatorship, and why, and how it is causing problem for anyone in interaction in them, and especially the high empath people. Well, so it's a lot of new discussion I will be bringing, and mainly my wish is to link the Bible and that story to what's happening right now, so you understand better how it is linked together, and how it's linked to a fight, because they want to take the control of the planet on the dark side of things, using it for resources only. So humanity that was meant as the God's dream, and for us to enjoy that place to live and be together and have a better relationship, more oriented to love and happiness. And it looks like La La Land for the ones that are so grounded that they forgot about it and how important it is to life. And this is how I get, this is how I got into so many problems with few guys at the beginning. When I stopped working, I says, well, I'm going to go with those CEO or high-level people, because they're very isolated and they are always with a lot of responsibility on their own, often kept away from their family because of the charge of work, and they become very stressed with the money they invested. So there's a lot of money, and now they have to keep it. And so there's a relationship with the power, the money, that is bringing them into a prison. And the more they become with celebrity, known and the more they're rich, the more people adore them and think that they're gonna get money from them if they become friends, which is totally stupid thinking. Because nobody at those levels, when they're very rich, they don't give money to anyone. Only the poor people help each other. Like the rich people don't give their money to humanity. They keep it and they hoard it, and they want more and then want more and more and more, and then it becomes a target for their own power. That's all they're interested in. Very minimal people at those levels will share for humanity, really for humanity, is sort of a reward for the contribution they've been giving to the society, giving back to them the money they've been spending for their object they were selling or whatever it was. Anyway, so a good reflection about it. I hope you liked it. I'm very enthusiastic. It's quite interesting how far humanity can go to do good or to do bad, at the opposite. But yeah, where there are human, there is humanity. So take care, and I hope you've liked it, and thank you for staying to this point. And sorry for my accent if I make my word in my enthusiast difficult to understand. But I think doing it in my language, French, would not join as much people. So that's why I do it in English. Well, I promised that I would do some in French. I've done some already. I just need to post them. I just can't decide which one is the proper one right now. I've done a lot in advance. I'm taking the thinking, the plan from X Media, as they are planning in advance with their videos. I do the same just because I think it's more convenient. So take care. I love you very much. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, and take the time to love each other. Bye-bye.